Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry about that. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited to see everyone here. With those not here yet, but you'll probably be able to see the video after. So there's my baby. This is my first time going live, but it's for a great event for the Get Focused Challenge for parents to help be more involved with your child's routines and activities that have to do with school while they're at home. So today I wanted to share tip 1, and this is day 1, so that matches up well. And before I start that, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Courtney Hillesheim, and I am a high school English teacher. I work at the High School for Law and Public Service, and that is a George Washington campus, which is way up in Washington Heights. That's my daughter Sophia and my other daughter Haley. They are watching home, and I'm hoping that keeps them quiet. I've given them water and straws, snacks to try and keep the noise level down so that during our chat, you can hear me and not be distracted by them. By the way, they are 3 and 1 years old. And they are part of the reason why I created Parent Focus. So let me get into that. Parent Focus is my company. It's a consulting company for parents who want to be more involved and more informed about their child's public school education. I noticed that a lot of parents that I was dealing with where I worked, they were not aware of a lot of the power that they had to create change in what was going on at school with their children. And that kind of bothered me, but I felt like when I'm at work, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I can't just pick up a phone and call a parent and say, hey, by the way, did you know XYZ? Because I have to teach. And when I'm not teaching, I'm lesson planning. I try to keep my work at work. So I created Parent Focus to kind of be the Toto in the Wizard of Oz, to pull back that curtain and show parents all of the accessibility and the options and the things that you are able to do to affect change in your child's education in public school. And that's why I started this challenge. This is day 1 because most of the time you're going to be at home one-on-one with your kid, and it's very difficult for parents, especially of older children, to figure out how to just sit down and help their children with homework because you were at work all day. You have to come home, you have to clean a house, you have to cook dinner, you have to take care of your other children, be they older or younger. There are a lot of different tasks that we have as parents on our plates. And just sitting down and spending hours helping our children with homework isn't always possible. But there are things we can do in a short 10-15 minutes that would make the process easier for our children and teach them skills that will help them not only in school, but for the rest of their lives. So that's why I started this challenge, so that you would be able to hear some of these tips, some of the advice, some of the hacks that I've come up with to help make this process easier. So let's start with day 1, tip 1. Today is about getting organized, and that's what this tip is about. I would like to see parents organize their child in terms of time and in terms of work. So what this means is your child should be coming home every day and doing homework at the same time in the same place. Routines become habits. Habits are hard to break, and habits are also hard to argue with, right? If your child is doing the same thing every single day, 5 days a week, eventually it's going to get to the point that they're not going to fight you anymore because you've already set this routine in stone. They see it happening every day, and they know, hey, once it's done, it's done. I'm going to be fine after. I can do what I want after. And it makes it easier than coming and arguing with your child and asking if they've done their homework yet, because you both know the schedule and the routine. So what I suggest is having your child somewhere that's easy for you to reach while you're doing whatever you're doing at home, but also in a location that they won't be interrupted. The kitchen table is great if it's early enough where they'll finish by the time dinner has to be put on the table. You don't want to have your child move and break whatever concentration or whatever work they're doing. You want them to be somewhere where they can work at a continuous stream and not be interrupted by the household routine. So what I suggest is they come home, they get a snack, They have some water, some juice, something to pep them up because they've had a long day at school. Lunch was probably early in the day, and sorry, Sophia, don't move the table. Lunch was probably early in the day, and they might be hungry. You don't want hunger to be a distraction. You don't want thirst to be a distraction. So you want to provide them with a snack or a light meal and something to drink so that that's not a reason for them to stop doing their homework. I also suggest them going to the bathroom, especially if they're younger. They go to the bathroom before they get seated and get started. There's Sophia's hand. You give them a little time to mellow out. Depending on your child, you may have to do the mellow out time after because they may not want to stop. And if you don't want to have that argument, you might not want to have that space before it's time to start their work. After they mellow out or after the snack time, depending on your relationship with your child and your child's personality, they will begin their homework. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of getting organized in space and time. Getting organized in terms of work, I'm going to show you my best buddy. This organizer is my best buddy at work. I separate it for each of my classes, but what I suggest, if you decide to purchase this for your children, is to organize it in terms of subjects. Let me open it up here and show you why. Each color, Sophia, each color can represent a different subject or a different class that your child has in school. Let me move that. It's going to shake a little, sorry. So what this is going to be for is any paperwork, tests, class notes that are coming home, quizzes, projects that are coming home that you find are cluttering your child's book bag. You don't want it to stay in there. You don't want it to stay in folders. You don't want it to stay in binders and create a difficult, situation for your child to keep in step with what's going on in class. The more there is in their binder, the more there is in their folders, the less they're going to want to deal with it, right? That's how we all are. Once things get cluttered, we have to force ourselves to open it up and clean it out. But if on a weekly basis, you're able to sit down with your child and say, hey, do you have anything that you want to put in the red math folder? Let's put it in. We can save it, some old homework, some old classwork notes that was from a few months ago that you've already had a test on. Put them in here in your red math folder. What about English? What about science? What about social studies?
Yeah, and they have different colors too.
Yes, like Sophia says, it has different colors too. Let me slide it over. Sophia, which one's your favorite color?
Orange.
Yeah, Sophia's favorite color is orange. So we would probably have Sophia's be orange for what? Do you like reading or do you like math?
I like reading.
Reading. So Sophia's would be the orange reading folder. And all of Sophia's reading tests will go in here. All of her reading classwork would go in here when it was done in class. So for example, if she hasn't taken a test yet for those specific notes, hold on baby, or that specific homework, you would want to keep that in the active moving folder. Keep that in the binder. You don't want to put that in here. This is for when that topic is complete. Yes. When the homework is done and checked and the teacher no longer needs to see it again, you're going to keep it in here.
Yes, you have to keep it in here.
Right. So why I'm suggesting this is, especially if your child is older than 8. Because
it's always an 8 when they get 8.
Right, so when your child gets 8. There's Hayes. When your child gets 8, turns 8, state testing starts. And a lot of classwork, a lot of homework, a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes, a lot of projects are geared toward prepping your child for that state test at the end of the year. You do not want to lose track of that information, of that practice, of those reviews.
Yes, you have to keep it at home when you use it outside.
Yes, you want to keep it at home. Because when it comes time, you get closer and closer to the test, I guarantee...
Yes, and closer to a table.
Yes, and closer to the table. I guarantee that those things are going to come up again, and you can use... Yes, you can use this accordion folder as a reference for your child. You can say, Sophia, you've already done this before. Remember? And then you open up the accordion and you find that set of notes or that set of homework that refers to whatever skill they're reviewing for, the test. So this is extremely useful. I love it to death. I use it at work.
Yeah, you get to use it at work.
Use it at work. Well, are they going to use it at work or for their kids?
For our work, we have to do it at work. Sometimes you when I get older.
Well, when you get older, you would use it at work. But
Yeah.
for now, these are mommies and daddies who are going to use this for their kids. So when their kids bring home homework and the homework has a good grade, they can put it inside the folder. Right? Look at that. Put it inside the folder and keep track. So the more cluttered your child's book bag is, the more cluttered your child's folders
Yes,
are.
I my book bag too.
Yes, Sophia has a book bag. The more cluttered your child's folders are, the
Focus.
less likely they are going to want to engage with it.
Oh, sorry.
This prevents that. So that takes 2 or 3 minutes to sit down with your son or daughter and say, hey, let's go through your book bag. Let's go through your
Yes.
folder. Now that your homework's done, this happens
now,
after.
Now the homework's done, so you can fold.
So you can put things in the folder.
Yes, put things in the folder. When you're done, you make a book out of paper.
Yes, you're making a folder book out of the papers that you've taken out of your child's book bag. So are they going to put old stuff or new stuff in the folder?
Good stuff.
Good stuff, but it's going to be
Oh.
old stuff. So you're going to put old things in here that your child has already been tested on, and this will help them keep track and keep organized. So this is
Yeah.
going to be a life skill, right? We all, look,
Yes.
Tosh Hobbs is saying, I need organizational skills. We are adults and we still struggle with this.
Yeah,
So
Strava's hobby stays stronger when you grow up. Like what you have to say is best. Like you have to draw like the letters. Like you do your chart.
yes, struggle makes you stronger. But if you teach your children early how to be organized, that's a struggle that they won't have to deal with later on.
Strava's when you say school, like you're getting on school when they get older, like school when they get 4.
Yes, when they get 4. When you turn 4, you go to school. Don't pick your nose. So, thank you for tuning in. Quick review. The first tip for today.
Thank you to me too.
Thank you from Sophia too. You want to organize your child's space and time. Make sure they're doing their homework in the same place at the same time. Okay. At the same time every day. Step 2, we want to make sure we have some kind of organization system for your child's old tests, old homework, old class notes.
Homework will make you stronger and then you dance when you go to school.
Very good. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear, if you like what you hear, just shoot Parent Focus a quick message, and I will be able to send you an email to help you keep track of each daily challenge, okay?
Yeah, challenge. Bye. Stay focused.
Stay focused, parents. All right. Okay, good question. If they're at a babysitter, that's an awesome question. I am the kind of person who likes to hold myself accountable. So if they're at a babysitter, I would wait until my
for Ashley and Julio, so they're babysitting to and watch so Sophia's videos about princesses.
Okay. Thank you, babies. Her babysitters' names are Ashley and Julio. Shout out to Ashley and Julio. Hi, guys. I would wait until they got home, but have a conversation with the babysitter. Say, look, is there any place quiet that my child... Is there any place quiet that my child can sit and start their homework? But you would be responsible for checking to make sure that the homework is complete once you got home. Just give it a look through, and you also want to do this once your child gets home.
Yeah, when you try to get home, you can do it when you fold it like papers, like you make a book, like everything you want to be.
Everything you want to be. You want to be the kind of parent that's focused, that teaches your child to be organized with their stuff and with their time.
Yes, with the time, you have to go to work. Then come back there to meet us, and that is a father. Then he's a father babysitting.
That's a run-on sentence. I'm an English teacher, so that kind of irks me.
And I'm an English teacher too.
In the future. So great question, Tashina. I'm gonna be coming back to this. So if you watch this in the future and you have questions, leave comments. I can come back and check.
You just have questions when you have to go to work. Then you can have this when you go to work.
All right.
That's why.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, stay focused, family.
Stay focused, family.